All right. Before we move on to Alabama and Houston, before we get to this Nate Oates interview, I just kind of want like a top down view of what you guys think about Indiana. Like, was this a result of not having Jalen Hood-Schifino? Was this
a lot of it? But he can't shoot
kind of thing. Well, just so what's your give me like your big picture take on Indiana? Right, we were really high on them for a while. Then they lost at Rutgers, which is like everybody loses at Rutgers, and now they couldn't score at Rutgers. They couldn't get a stop against Arizona. So like, what's the issue here, Goodman? I'll go to you first on this one.
I mean, again, while Arizona is to me a well-constructed team that's put together well where the pieces fit, right? And that's kind of what you're looking for to me when you're looking for teams that can run off 6 straight. I don't think Indiana can win 6 straight, but honestly, who cares? If they can win 4 straight, they'd be celebrating in the streets of Bloomington. My daughter will probably be, drunk somewhere, who knows where in Bloomington. But ultimately, I think they're limited because they don't have enough shooters, and you're so dependent on Xavier Johnson and Miller Kopp, who can be a liability on the other end. You got to, to me, you got to play Jalen Hood-Schifino, but he's not a shooter. You needed to add shooting to this team, and instead you added Jalen Hood-Schifino and Malik Renew, and neither are really shooters.
McCall?
Yeah, I thought there was a possession in the game that was kind of just like a microcosm of what happened even tonight. Trace Jackson-Davis drove down. He actually got fouled, but he drives it into the paint. And there's 3 guys surrounding him. And there's 2 guys that are wide open on the opposite side of the floor. And it's like, does he trust those guys on that side of the floor to kick it to him? One, maybe he didn't see him, but they're there. Does he trust to kick that ball out and allow someone else to make that play? Because they're wide open. He's got 3 guys around him, and he's in the lane. And trusting someone to be able to kick that basketball out and make that play, I thought that was just kind of a microcosm of the whole game for them tonight. And like Goodman said, they're going to have to find some level of perimeter shooting. Yeah. Their defense was not great, but you have to credit what Arizona does on offense. I don't know that they'll see another offense just that clicks the way that offense clicked tonight. But Jackson Davis has to trust his teammates around him. When he gets in the lane, trust to make the right play, find the open man, and those guys have to shoot the basketball with confidence, or it's going to be a long year even for him because he's going to get that kind of attention.
Listen, this is a really good Arizona team, right?
Yeah.
We're putting them up against, to me, one of the top 10 teams in the country. Is Indiana there, Rob? I don't know. I don't know if they're a top 10 team. We kind of put them right on the fringe. I'm not sure they're quite that, but you can not be a top 10 team and still win the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, for sure. There's no,
Absolutely.
We'll get into that in a little bit. There's no real great team in the Big Ten. I'm just going to play devil's advocate real quick for you guys. We saw Ray Thompson make some 3s today, right? We see him shooting them with a little bit more confidence this season than he has in the past. They weren't going in, but he's shooting them. He's shooting more than 2 per game now. Miller Kopp has been on fire the last couple of weeks. He's over 50% on the season from beyond the arc. Tamar Bates shooting 42% from 3 on the year, made a couple today. I think that there is enough shooting there to be good enough offensively. My big concern with this team is there is no other initiator behind Xavier Johnson, unless we're going to call Jalen Hood-Schifino an initiator, and I don't even know if he necessarily
he can be. Yes.
But the lack of elite point guard play is what I think kind of will bring it down. Now, when Xavier Johnson is good, Indiana is going to be able to beat anybody in the country. Problem is Xavier Johnson is good about as often as Goodman gives out proper bets that hit.